Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today we're going to talk about some more current events. Over there in Norway, with the son of the crown prince, the guy's name is Marius Boig Hoiby, is facing like 32 charges of rape and domestic violence and stuff like that, and is facing like 10 years in prison, somewhere along those lines. But I only mention that for Laic's sake, our Norwegian subscriber. Norway's never in the news. Y'all are so good over there in Norway, and it seems like America and Australia and England and France, we're always stirring the pot somehow. So I figured I'd throw Norway under the bus there and talk about this guy. He's probably got he's probably on the Epstein list by the sound of the charges. The son of the prince over there. He's probably on the Epstein list. I would put money on it. But so there you go, Laic. You're part of the screwed up club of Western civilization with our pedophiles and our shootings and all the stuff we have going on. Welcome to the club, Norway. The other thing I have to talk about is Donald Trump, which he's always in the news now that he's president. Again, Donald Trump is talking about putting boots on the ground, federal boots on the ground, and over there in Chicago now, which I said, if y'all remember, a couple live streams ago, a week or two ago, I said that's what I was worried about, that they'd put, I named Chicago as one of the cities, Chicago, Detroit, that once they start in D.C., and I realize that D.C. is under federal jurisdiction, but once you start normalizing that, putting boots on the ground in cities, it's not that big of a stretch to move it to another city. Well, let's do it in Chicago. It works so good here in D.C., let's do it in Chicago. And I realized that some of the people in these cities would be in favor of that because of the violence, because of the crime. If I live there, I might be in favor of it too. I doubt it, because I value freedom higher than anything else. But still, I can't blame anybody for living in that situation and supporting this federal implementation of a police force, right? I can't blame you for being in favor of it. But when you look at America at large, the United States as a whole, and you can see this federal police force spreading out across the country, that's not a good thing. I understand that Donald Trump is the head of the federal government right now, but when he leaves, the federal government is going to go back to being the federal government. All right, and everything he did, even if it was good during his administration, it's not going to stay good, not necessarily, if the person coming in behind him has different ideas about how to utilize this, whatever he left them. If he leaves them a police force, what are they going to do with it? Even if he did something good with it, even if he had the best, America's best interest at heart. And also he's trying to get $2 billion to clean up DC. And that's, in one way that's noble, and I understand it, and I can't condemn it too much. But in another way, why are they taking my tax money to clean up DC? Why don't the residents of DC clean up DC? They made the mess. All right? That's like my neighbor coming over here and just taking $5 out of my pocket to buy some paper towels because he made a mess over there at his house. No, you buy your own paper towels. You clean up your own damn mess. That's none of my business. I don't live in that area. I don't, I'm not a resident of DC. Why am I paying to clean it up? So that kind of thing. and I realize, but at the same time, I realize we're all one entire country, and but when you see, I have actually watched these urban developments, these cities decay over the last 30 years. They have just gone to shit. And I didn't do it, I would have stopped it if I could have. If I'd have been there, I'd have voted another way. But these people are still voting that way. They're voting themselves into the same position they're in. They continue to vote for this shit that got them there. So I have little sympathy for that kind of shit. Now, I do sympathize with the people who are trying to vote the right way, who are trying to keep their city, where they grew up and the place they love and their home, into a decent, respectable, prosperous community. But, I don't know. I don't know what to say to people like that, because you're probably outnumbered 100-1 in those big cities, maybe even more than that. And that's a tough situation to be in. But I do sympathize with those people, because they didn't choose to destroy their city. They've been fighting to keep it a decent place to be. Look at San Francisco. That was one of the most beautiful cities in the world at one time. Now there's just shit in the streets and syringes on the sidewalk and stuff, and homeless camps and all kinds of. It's pitiful. But it is what it is, We as they as a community have asked for this. That's what they've been asking for. All this socialism and all this bullshit. It's what they wanted, so they got it now. And again, Trump's raising tariffs on India and stuff because they won't buy American oil. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I realize that prices are going up, but prices went up before Trump ever got in office. Prices were high when he stepped in there. Tariffs, raising prices, what's the difference between raising prices for one reason or another? Their prices are going up. They've been going up since I was born. When I was born, I could literally go with 50 cents and get a candy bar and a Coke, 25 cents each. And if I had another quarter, I could get a comic book. Now I walk into a gas station and a damn candy bar is $3. And they shrunk the size of the candy bar. Now that you get less for more money. So it's not all tariffs and shit. We can't just blame now that stuff is expensive where, it's tariffs and we're going to pay more because of tariffs and stuff. Yeah, okay, we might pay more, but we were paying more anyway. Prices are going up regardless, no matter what we do. So we might as well do something for the United States of America and have that be the reason that prices are going up. And you're not going to get prosperity. We're not going to turn this ship around without some pain. I've said it before in episodes before. There's going to be pain. It's going to hurt. We're going to have to do without the latest iPhone. We're going to have to do without some stuff because we can't afford it. But that's what it's going to take to fix this economy. The best thing we could do is just pull back out of that world economy bullshit that they've got us entangled in now. That's the best thing we could do, in my opinion. Yeah, I know that it's too complex for a handyman like me, and I just don't understand. And tariffs are some horrible thing, and all this stuff. Even though that's how the United States survived for the first 150 years, but stuff has changed, and it's not possible anymore. We must tax the citizens now, and all this stuff. But I just disagree with all that horse shit. I think it's really simple. I really do. I think it's simple. You pull back and you take care of your own country first, and then you trade with countries that are interested in fair trade, not lopsided trade. You build your own infrastructure and promote businesses inside your own country. You you destroy monopolies from taking over and killing competition, and doing that by itself will raise wages. You get rid of all this foreign illegal labor, and that will raise wages. All of these things are needed by the people of the United States. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is that this kind of stuff is for the people of the United States. Not for the billionaires, not for the billionaires who are the ones who want all this bullshit. The billionaires want more markets to sell over there in China and India and wherever else. They love the global economy. It's crushing us. The billionaires love illegal immigration so they can pay pennies on the dollar for labor. They love it. It's crushing us. And the fools out there who are on the side of the billionaires because they've been brainwashed by the media, who's being paid by the billionaires, the willful ignorance and stupidity that goes into that line of thought, to where you would cut your own knees out from under you because you were told that that's the best thing for you, is just ridiculous. I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm getting off. That's a different subject there, and I'll get back to current events here. I had another shooting in Mount Carbon, West Virginia, and that's just par for the course here in the United States. In my opinion, they've been, anytime anybody gets shot, they want to point the finger at the guns, as if they're autonomous AI things that are just running around shooting people. But anytime that happens, they want to fault the guns, regardless of the statistics that tell you that guns, shootings are way down toward the bottom of the list of the ways people die here in America. Stabbings are way much higher than that. But this whole thing with the shootings and stuff, the thing that the elephant in the room to me is the medication. The medication. I mean, what kind of medications are these people on? They never tell us. They just tell us that they had a gun, and the big bad gun, and guns are bad, and we need to get rid of them and whatever. And that to me, that's a smokescreen. It does double duty. They've wanted to get rid of our guns, to subvert the Second Amendment for a long time. They've been wanting to do that. It's hard to get around because it's so explicitly stated in our Constitution, but they have been getting around it as much as they can, as often as they can. They pass stricter laws and regulations against gun ownership. And the thing about it is that the elephant in the room is the medication. In the room is the medication, right? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about the mental state of the shooter ever? We never talk about what kind of medication they were on, what were they seeing a psychiatrist. None of these people, none of them ever have been on some kind of pill, some kind of psychotropic, mood stabilizer or something. None of them. Why aren't these psychiatrists being pulled out and interviewed and asked what kind of medications these people are on and stuff? I guess all of them are just completely mentally stable, healthy individuals, and the guns made them do it. I guess that's what we're told. So, again, we see this kind of stuff all over the place in America, and America is the one. We're the ones, we consume probably 90% of the medication, those types of medication around the world. Something like that, 80%, something very high. So to me, that makes a statement there by itself. We consume the majority of that medication, and the majority of shootings happen in the United States. So that kind of raises a red flag in my head. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about and needs to be mentioned every once in a while. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description too for any of you who are interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out one hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.